Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back. You are watching the G-Shock Presents Formula Drift Japan. This is round 2. We are at Ebisu Circuit, and this is the top 16, or as they say here, the best 16. And I am Ryan Sage, along with Ryan Lantain. We have a pretty stacked field of competitors starting on Friday into practice. 50 drivers that were whittled down to 43 after some DNFs and some vehicle problems. We ended up filling 30 of 32 spots. That's how crazy qualifying was yesterday. We had a ton of incompletes. The weather really poured down on us. The final 16 drivers are now out on course. We are in Nihonmatsu Prefecture, just outside of Fukushima. The track conditions are in basically perfect condition. But we do have the threat of rainstorms. Weather may be a part of our top 16. And you can hear the Japanese commentators now introducing our two drivers. Katsuhiro Ueno going up against that gentleman right there, winner of last year's round at Fuji, taking out his teammate Andrew Gray, Sheng Nien from Singapore. And there he is, our current points leader in the Formula Drift Japan Championship. Not getting his typical #1 qualification, but it was wet and rainy. He's got a tough battle on his hands, especially with this gentleman here, Andrew Gray, who literally has a shop about a quarter-mile away and has probably spent more time on this track than just about anybody on the lineup, except for one other gentleman that we'll get to shortly. So our next two competitors there, MANABU Fujinaka taking on Koji Kitagawa, who got past Jin Horino in the top 32. Quite an upset there. Our second Singaporean in the top 16 field is Benjamin CHIAM. That very strongly suited and very noticeable Supra going up against another very noticeable and popular vehicle, the Audi A5 of KAZUYA Iizuka. That does it for the left-hand side of the bracket. We now move over to the right-hand side. So everybody you just saw will be potentially at least have an opportunity for the finals, and they will be facing they could be facing one of these next 8 gentlemen. Hayato Miyoshi, our #2 qualifier, is going to be going up against Yoshimi Mori, who had an interesting battle with Go Kamiya and was able to come out on top. He's looked pretty solid this weekend. One of the older competitors that we have here. This is the other driver that we were talking about that has probably spent the most time here because he owns this track, and that's Nobushige Kumakubo, who had a great battle with Takatoshi Imamaeda, came out on top. He's going to be facing Kazuki Hayashi, our #23 qualifier, in that ZN6 86. Our next battle up should be another fun one. He is always a threat for the championship. He qualified 3rd. He made quick movements of Yasao Takano, and that is Shinji Minowa. He's going to be taking on Tomohiro Murayama. And in our final battle of the top 16, Kazuya Matsukawa, who was able to take out the ever-threat Koichi Yamashita after some damage that he sustained yesterday in qualifying, had to bow out of competition with some damage. So he's got that slot, but he's going to be taking on car number 88, Tatsuya Kume, in the S14 Sylvia, who had a great battle with Kazuhiro Kubo, our #6 qualifier. So that is the makeup, the DNA of your top 16 here at Ebisu Circuit. Let me bring in Ryan now. And Ryan, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that you noticed in the top 32 and maybe a quick refresher of some of the top line tandem judging criteria.
So in tandem judging, we are looking for that lead driver to run as close to a 100-point run as possible. The drivers that we saw doing well in top 32 are the ones that could successfully fill outside zone 1, do a nice smooth arc through there, get out to outside zone 2 and fulfill the rest of the course. We had a few drivers that were leaving outside zone 1 early, which seems to be a common mistake among the majority of the drivers there, and they would end up drawing too straight of a line to inside clip 1, choking them up and causing them to have a problem in that area.
So one of the things that we can probably anticipate, just because we do see the drivers pushing harder and harder as they get deeper and deeper into competition, we don't see it so much at the second inside clip, but we do see drivers overshooting the first inside clip. Now, you guys have specified that that is a potential passing area, as passing can only be done on an inside clip. So why don't you walk us through some of the probable things that could happen if somebody were to overshoot that, and how to execute a pass?
Interestingly enough, up until now, so through top 32, we've only seen a handful of lead cars overshoot inside clip 1, and when they do, they generally don't leave enough room for the chase driver to pass. So they get maybe out just beyond that rumble strip that's outside of inside clip 1 before they are able to tie back into outside zone 2. So that's the major issue. We've seen more of the chase cars going really wide there, but if a lead car does go wide at inside clip 1 or 2, the chase driver can go in for the pass if they can remain on the specified line that the lead driver is supposed to take.
All right, more from Ryan as we take a quick commercial break. The G-Shock presents Formula Drift Japan Championship. We are here at Ebisu Circuit. We're going to line up our top pairs and get ready to kick off the top 16 when we come back. All right, and we're back here. It gives you a little view of what we're seeing off the mountain a little bit, which is just behind us. And that is the potential for rain to be coming in. We do compete in wet and rainy conditions, and we did yesterday, but it was, I don't want to say use the word nightmare, but it was crazy. It was crazy. Let's just say that. We had one of the most phenomenal crashes with FUJINAKA, and he actually did make it into competition this afternoon, but unfortunately had a mechanical that put him out. If you have an opportunity to go back and take a look at that crash, I highly recommend it, because it was very phenomenal, and he was not hurt. The car was sustained some damage, but he flipped the car over and flew about 20 feet in the air. So definitely check that one out. You can see what can happen here at this course, up against the embankment, the dirt embankment that is just right outside zone number 1. So our first battle up here, which is definitely one for the championship contenders, Katsuhiro Ueda. He sits in 3rd right now. He qualified number 1, so he's done his job so far. With Koichi Yamashita going out in the top 32, what that means is an opportunity for Ueda to overtake Yamashita, who is sitting in 2nd place right now. MASUYAMA is the leader in the championship, so we could see things shaken up here depending on how these battles play out. The first few on the left-hand side, because we've got MASUYAMA versus Gray and Ueda versus Nien going on right now, which would certainly, in a shorter 5-round championship, play a significant role in how the championship rolls out over the course of the season.
Looking at the cars that are here competing today, Nien is definitely equipped with one of the cars that could give Ueda a run for his money. A lot of other cars can't keep up to his, but I think Nien has a good opportunity here.
Lights are off. Katsuhiro Ueda takes the lead against Shang Nian. Shang trying to keep close. Big initiation there by Ueda. Gets into that first outside zone. Nien was a little bit tighter there through that inside clip. Oh, and Ueda misses the second outside zone. Good adjustment by Nien. Ueda is missing a few areas on the course, 2nd and 3rd outside zones notably, and he allowed Nien to get up on the inside and keep that pressure on. But let's go back to the replay and bring in Ryan for the call.
This is a nice start to top 16, Ryan. We've got dry conditions. We've got 2 really fast cars here. Looking at Ueda, initiates way wide, drops a tire. Nien takes the more conventional line and stays a little bit on the inside, but mimicking him pretty well. Ueda completely misses outside zone 2. Dips a tire on the rumble strip there for outside zone 3. So he did miss, like you said, a couple of key parts of this track, but Nien was right there putting on pressure, not letting him get away. And I think he did a pretty good job of reeling in somebody like Ueda, who we know is a pretty wild driver. We'll see what happens here as Nien gets into the lead position. Nien has an opportunity, a couple of opportunities here. He could do a little bit better on initiation, not drop a tire. He could get out to outside zone 1. Ueda did a pretty good job there. He left it a little bit early, but really did a better job than we've seen the majority of drivers do in that zone. He did miss outside zone 2 by a very large margin. He probably would have received a 0 for that line, for the line score in that area if it was qualifying. So Nian has a big opportunity there for sure, where he can better Ueo's line through that outside zone 3 sector and really make it smoother through that whole arc.
Second run is underway. Nian blasting down that front straight. Ueo taking that outside approach, trying to stay on the inside as Ueo door to door here with Sheng Nian. Now he falls off, and Sheng is actually able to get out to outside zone 2. So this potentially could be a better lead for Sheng Nian compared to Katsuhiro Ueo. Ueo kept the pressure on. He took an interesting approach as he got into that initiation, but let's go through it again here in granularity with Ryan Lantain.
I think you're absolutely right. Ryan Nian did a better job on that outside zone 2. Look at his outside zone 1, right on the rumble strip. Might have left it a couple of feet early, but really did a great job. Tight on inside clip 1, as wide as you can go without dropping off the track on 2, and then outside zone 3 was right on the edge of that rumble strip. So great job by Nian in the lead position, excelled, decelled in the right places. In the chase position, you could see that Ueo was not really in the right position coming through outside zone 2 area, and he kind of straightened up a little bit. Look at Nian there, almost on the first hash mark. That's one of the best lead runs we've seen through that area. And then Ueo, like in the lead, completely missed outside zone 2 in the chase. So really leaving some opportunities on the board.
All right, so scores starting to come in from the judges, seeing a few drop here. It could be a big upset if Sheng Nian was able to take out Katsuhiro Ueo. He'd be doing Koichi Yamashita a big favor as he went out in the top 32. Let's take a look. Andy Yen goes to Sheng. Ryan Lantain goes to Sheng. That is going to make it official, but one judge going for a one more time. It is majority rules, and Sheng Nian is going to be moving on into the Great 8, upsetting the #1 qualifier, Katsuhiro Ueo. Next battle is on the line. It is Andrew Gray versus Wataru Masuyama. Now, Gray did not get the finish that he wanted. It's a Suzuka twin. He went out in the Great 8. However, he was able to maintain 5th place coming into this round. This would be a huge opportunity for him to take out the points leader in Wataru Masuyama. The story with Masuyama has been he really did a great job in developing his head-to-head and tandem driving in the off-season, and that has been extremely well complemented by his incredible qualifying runs. So does he have the full package together? This is a good test right here. Masuyama initiates right at the 3rd standing cone. Big angle for Masuyama. Comes off outside zone 1 a little bit early. Andrew Gray looking for an opportunity to attack. Masuyama, great job on outside zone 2. Very smooth and fluid. This is what we expect from him. But Gray keeping pace. So one area in outside zone 1 that Masuyama maybe could have been a little bit deeper, but overall a nice solid lead run. Andrew Gray did not let him get away, and it looks like he followed him for the most part where he went on the course. So let's take a look at this again.
Yeah, we talked in the driver's meeting about that 2-movement initiation. Good job by Masuyama doing that. Nice flick. Left outside zone 1 early though. Could have been deeper there. Was not as close to inside clip 1 as you'd like to see. Nice and deep in outside zone 2. Good job on 3, but couldn't shake Andrew Gray. Andrew Gray's right there with him, mimicking him all the way through, matching his line, matching his angle, and matching his movements throughout the course. So good job by both drivers, but Andrew Gray has some opportunities now that he can exploit in the lead position, and namely would be outside zone 1 to begin with. It's going to be something that he has to really take advantage of. He's got to get out wide, fill that zone, closer on 1, inside clip 1 there, and then outside zone 2 he's got to do as good as Masuyama did there. And you can see there that Masuyama did a pretty good job elsewhere, just really that outside zone 1 and inside clip 1 where he could have been deeper in outside zone 1 and closer to inside clip 1.
So some opportunities here for Andrew Gray, and let's remember that one of the big questions here that we see with most drivers that go up against Andrew Gray is, do you have the grip and the speed to hang with Andrew when he is in the lead position? And certainly Andrew had the speed and grip to hang with Masuyama. Does that go the other direction as well? We will find out. Chase driver is allowed to jump the light if he needs to get out of the gate and get a little bit of advantage, so we get close tandem into the first corner. Here we go. Andrew Gray taking the lead against Masuyama. Gray initiates at the 3rd standing cone. Masuyama sticking with him so far, but he may have pushed a little bit too hard here. He's on a much wider line. He's going to have to circle back on the inside. Gray gets out to outside zone 2. Solid on outside zone 3. Here comes Masuyama, but he falls back again in Andrew Gray's smoke line. And a pretty good competitive battle, but Masuyama was really flirting with the edge there. Let's take a look at this again.
Andrew Gray, like you said, has the car that is hard to keep up with. He builds some fast cars, big engines. You can see on initiation, beautiful job at outside zone 1. Masuyama was deeper than him, went off a little bit, went a little bit wider there coming into inside clip 1. Andrew was not close, as close as you'd like to see him, but you can see that Masuyama, while able to match the forward speed of Andrew Gray, maybe can't get around the corner quite as quick as him, so he tends to wash out a little bit while trying to maintain the same type of speed. So you can see there, Masuyama washes out, reels him back in by using less angle and a much tighter line, and the same thing's going to happen here. You're going to see him kind of wash out before inside clip 1. It just seems like the car doesn't stick quite as well as Andrew Gray's does.
And as we go, it's 1 for Andrew Gray, 2 for Andrew Gray, and that is going to be an upset for the current points leader. WATARU Masuyama knocked out in the top 16. Unanimous victory for Andrew Gray. All right, so Koji Kitagawa, who defeated Jin Harino, who was our number 4 qualifier, is now going to be facing Manabu Fujinaka, who got a bye into the top 16 after Naoto Suinaga was not able to get to the line for his top 32 battle. These two will see battle here in the top 16.
2 more essentially teammates here with their RX-7 builds.
Fujinaka taking the lead. Oh, wow, big jump there, and massive gap being established by Fujinaka. Fujinaka goes way wide, and on the inside, Kitagawa is unable to take advantage of it. And it looks like Kitagawa is going to spin out in that off-camber turn right before inside clip 3. So got a bit messy there by both drivers, but it looked like Kitagawa was at a clear disadvantage, did not get a good jump out of the gate. Let's take a look at this again.
That is for sure, Ryan. He's got an incomplete there in his chase run, but the lead run was not the cleanest. He could have been much better set through the course. He left outside zone 1 too early, went super, super wide on inside clip 1. That would have been a definite 0 for the line score on that one in qualifying. But in the chase position, it looks like Fujinaka was not able to stay on the track there, unfortunately, and spun out just before inside clip 2. So looking at it from the aerial view, big gap established here right off the bat, but looking at Kitagawa in the lead, he's not going to go much further in competition, even if he wins this battle, if he keeps that up. The drivers now are going to be much more precise in the future battles, and he's going to have to be a lot cleaner on his line here.
All right, battle of the RX-7s here. Fujinaka going to the chase position on good rides. A huge diversity of tire manufacturers in the Formula Drift Japan Championship. Different set of rules over here. We see a lot of purpose-built drift tires, an incredible amount of grip, and it is very interesting to watch as they build these incredible machines. But our battle at hand here, car 654 going up against 808. Fujinaka giving him a bit of room here. Maybe a smart move. Kitagawa, and he's going to straighten out. Fujinaka trying his best to avoid the situation, and I think he is just a little bit concerned that if he pushes the pressure, he may end up running into Kitagawa, so he keeps it conservative. And that may have been the smart move there. It looks like it was an incomplete from Kitagawa after outside zone 1, which means that the run would shut down at that particular point. But let's verify that with the judges.
Yeah, you're right. Kitagawa had a big issue in the lead position where he straightened out quite considerably after outside zone 1. So as you can see there, the car goes to angle, but then he straightens up. So that'll be an incomplete from him. From our perspective, watching Fujinaka in the chase, he was going completely straight away from us at angle with the front wheel locked up and the back wheels locked up on handbrake. Pretty impressive to see the car control from him.
All right, so let's make it official here. As the judges' scores are coming in, you can see that Audi A5 in the background warming up in the burnout box. And as suspected, it is going to be Manabu Fujinaka getting the win here against Koji Kitagawa in the top 16. So with Kitagawa knocked out, Fujinaka in the grade 8, we move on to our next battle, which is going to be, this should be a good one actually. Benjamin CHIAM, our number 5 qualifier, taking on Kazuya Iizuka. Iizuka developing this Audi A5, an incredible machine. Benjamin CHIAM been working with the Supra for a number of years now and has really got that thing dialed. He's fast, he's quick, he has a lot of grip. And this should be a really fun battle to watch here quite a bit of diversity on the track here between the European vehicle, the Japanese vehicle, and the tire manufacturers brought to the table here. So we will get this battle underway. This is the final battle of the left-hand side of the top 16 bracket, and this will make us halfway through the top 16 so far after this battle ends.
Here we go.
A little bit of a jump out of the gate there from Iizuka. Interesting rollout. Now CHIAM gets out front. Iizuka able to initiate a little bit later at that last standing point to try to keep proximity here. Benjamin CHIAM blasting into that outside zone 2, back around. A little bit of separation here towards this last section of the course. Less angle by Iizuka on that final turn, but it was the start that made things pretty interesting. Let's take a look at this one more time.
I think that he mistimed his start off the line there, and it hurt him. Unfortunately, Iizuka did not time that well. Benjamin CHIAM could have been deeper in outside zone 1, could have hung on to it a little bit longer as well. Did not too bad on inside clip 1, though. Maybe at the second hash mark, he could have been deeper in outside zone 1, but was near the rumble strip or just barely on it, and did an okay job on outside zone 3. So looking at the start here, you can see that Iizuka tried to get the jump, but then had to lift off to let Benjamin CHIAM by, as the lead driver does have the right of way, and he just didn't really time that the best, unfortunately. So just touching that rumble strip there is Benjamin CHIAM, okay on outside zone 3, and could have been tighter on inside clip 1. He kind of late apex that inside clip. Would like to see him get into that corner a little bit earlier and kind of go across the right around the front of that inside clip as opposed to around kind of the back side of it. So could clean that up a little bit. But now we're going to see, I don't know if there was a power deficit from that Audi. Did he need to jump the line like that, or was he just being super cautious? We're going to watch now and see if Benjamin CHIAM's going to jump. Is he going to try to leave at the same time? Is he able to keep up to the V8 of that Audi A5?
Well, it's interesting, and it's worth pointing out that one of the things that Formula Drift does allow for the chase drivers, you can jump the light, you can leave whenever you want, and you can also initiate at the last standing cone and still receive the appropriate marks for your initiation, even if your competitor initiates at a set of cones earlier than that. And that just allows the chase driver to try and get as close to the lead driver as possible to give us the best possible tandem. Here we go, Iizuka out of the gate, blasting down that front straight. He initiates right there. Benjamin CHIAM right with him. Great job on that first outside zone. So nice marks there through that inside clip. So far, so good in the lead position by Iizuka. CHIAM closing the door now on the inside, that final inside clip. And a pretty good battle there on that second run. Iizuka looked strong in the lead position, and not too many mistakes out there, so giving himself the best opportunity. Yeah,
he really burnt through that chicane too. Good for him. Good initiation here. Nice and wide on outside zone 1, a little bit too wide. Tire over the line. Got relatively close to that inside clip 1, which was really nice. Deep in outside zone 1. Good job on outside zone 3, I should say, 2 and 3. Great job there. Tight on inside clip 1 and 2. So good job in the lead position here. He has clean line, angle was set all the way through the run, and he didn't really look like he had any bobbles except right there at initiation. This sky view is very, very helpful for us. You can see Benjamin CHIAM, though, right there, kind of taking a tighter line through outside zone 2, not really mimicking the line there as well as you'd like to see, and kind of had a couple of angle discrepancies through a couple of spots of the track as well.
So a close battle here. Where will it go? What direction will the judges push it? Each judge putting in their scores independently. Andy Yen going to Kazuya Iizuka as well as Ryan Lantain, and it looks like the really solid lead run of Kazuya Iizuka gets him a unanimous victory over Benjamin CHIAM. So we are halfway done with the top 16, and moving over to the right-hand side of the bracket, we are getting the signal to head to our standard commercial break. So we will come back right after this to the G-Shock Presents Formula Drift Japan Championship here at Ebisu Circuit. Welcome back to Nihon Matsu Prefecture. We are at the Ebisu West Circuit. That is our judging tower. Right to the left of that is the spotters tower. And the spotters are giving, hopefully, good advice to these drivers that are out on the line. certainly that is going to come into play if this weather cell that seems to be threatening us makes its way in. So far, so good. It's been wet for the majority of competition in qualifying, or was wet for the majority of competition qualifying yesterday. So far today, it was a little bit moist in the morning, but we got through top 32 in fast, smoky conditions. So that is awesome, and we hope that it continues. Ryan Sage alongside Ryan Lantain here, who's serving as commentator and judge. Andy Yen and Robbie Nishida, our other two judges, along with our Japanese broadcast team, who is, if you are interested in watching a Japanese broadcast, you can go to the Formula Drift Japan YouTube page or their website for that broadcast. Thanks for joining us wherever you are. Our next battle up is Hayato Miyoshi versus Yoshimi Mori. Miyoshi known for big initiations, but this time he goes a little bit deep, and looks like Mori's going to make contact with them. So an untraditional initiation from Miyoshi, and we've got what, at least by rulebook specifications, would be contact. Not fully going into the collision where both cars stop, but we do have contact on course, and it looks like the judges will have to come in here and assess fault. Ryan?
Yeah, let's look at what occurred. You can see Miyoshi gets the car to angle, goes a tire off way before the outside zone. Seems like he's got low angle and still slowing down pretty far after that. So we'll have to look at if that was decel in the wrong zone. Hopefully we have our sky view via the drone, and that would give us a much better indication of what actually occurred out there. And here it is. This will be very helpful for us to watch. So you see Miyoshi in the lead, Mori in the chase. Miyoshi goes wide very, very early. Mori comes in. Yeah, it looks like some choppy driving in the lead position. The chase driver looks like he came in pretty aggressively and perhaps just overshot that.
So we were able to see some smoke line permutations in the last time we had contacted inside clip 1, which was really helpful, and that was also backed up by the overhead shot where you could see the decel from the lead driver. In this particular case, you could see Mori coming in. He is allowed to initiate later than the lead driver in order to gain proximity. However, the lead driver has only one decel area that is right after, or right before inside clip number 1, right after outside zone 2. So we will have to see how the judges take a look at this. Each judge will give their vote independently. And Ryan, why don't you point out again, just very briefly for the fans that are tuning in for just the top 16, where the two decel areas are.
Decel area 1 is about halfway through outside zone 1 to about halfway between the end of outside zone 1 and the beginning of inner clip 1. So that was within that slowdown area.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Mori now coming through as the lead driver. He will have a little bit of hesitation on initiation, and Miyoshi looks like he is a bit unsettled in his car after that run number 1. Mori goes way wide here. Just gets that tire into outside zone number 2. And Miyoshi trying to get back in the battle here. May have come a bit unglued after that first run and the contact that we saw there. So Ryan, take us through run number 2.
It looks on first glance like Mori is trying to get away. You can see him overshooting both inside clips, going very, very fast in his lead roll. Did a good job on outside zone 1, but inside clip 1 he's not even near it. Didn't really get to the right spot for outside zone 2, late for outside zone 3. He's just over speeding throughout the entire course, not really hitting his marks and making mistakes everywhere. So not really what we're looking for from the lead driver, and in the chase, of course, he made that big error. So it's not really looking too good for him. He should have slowed down and concentrated on hitting his marks here throughout the course.
Well, to be honest, I was expecting a little bit more from that battle. Both drivers showed some really quality driving earlier on in competition. And now we will go to the judges' scorecards. 1 for Miyoshi, 2 for Miyoshi, and 3 for Hayato Miyoshi. So the contact in run number 1 playing a big role there, as all 3 judges are unanimous. Car 3, 4, 4 is moving on into the Great 8.
Okay then, Miyoshi gets the win. Next up, Mr. Kumakubo. A lot of seat time here at this track. It is his track. Kind of owns the joint, so he knows his way around this place. He doesn't know the car super well, though. This is his first time competing in this S15 that belongs to Kazama Auto. Him and Sunaga both using one of Kazama Auto's cars, and he's doing pretty well with it, though. Qualifying did all right.
Kumakubo in the lead, Hayashi in the chase position. Kumakubo had some nice initiations in the top 32. A little bit wide on outside zone 1. Hayashi very close there as they wrap through that inside clip. Good angle and touching into that second outside zone is Kumakubo. Little bit e-brake pull as he exits that final outside zone, and Hayashi trying to tow up the rear end here, but falls back a little bit on that off-camber left-hand turn through the final inside clip.
You can see Kumakubo making a concerted effort to hit those inside clips. He's trying to slow down, get the car positioned properly. Initiation here could have been a little snappier. Did go a tire, maybe 2 tires off at outside zone 1. Nice and tight on inside clip 1 like he should be. Deep in outside zone 2. Good job on outside zone 3. A little handbrake pull, tightening the car into that line that he wants to follow into inside clip 2, which is something that's being overlooked by multiple drivers. So good job by Kumakubo in the lead of doing that. Now looking from the sky, let's see how Hayashi did in the chase position here. Mimicking his line pretty well through outside zone 1. Just falling off slightly at inside clip 1. Through outside zone 2, following the same line, although falling off proximity-wise, and then at inside clip 2, not really able to follow the same line that Kumakubo was setting in the lead position.
All right, so as the drivers pass through the finish line, they drive back around the course behind the judging stand here, and then all the way back up the hill to the start line. They will mix things up as now Hayashi goes to the lead position, and Kumakubo will chase him down. I hope if he feels that he has done well this event, maybe he'll make some pizza for us afterwards.
I would love that. I've been bugging him all weekend. He keeps saying no.
Oh yeah, no, he saw me at the vending machine. He's like, "Oh, no pizza this weekend. I'm driving."
He knows what we're after. He gets his cheese from one of Federico Scerifo's friends in Italy.
Oh, wow.
For his pizza. Yeah, he's very, very specific.
Very connected. All right, here we go. Hayashi now in the lead position. Kumakubo keeping it tight on initiation, and Hayashi way on the inside. He misses completely outside zone 1. He goes wide here. This gives an opportunity for Kumakubo to keep that pressure on, and he does. Better job on outside zone 3, but Kumakubo looks very settled in that S15, and I think that is going to be a very assertive posture for him to move on into the Great 8. Let's take a look at it one more time and what happened on the initiation to outside zone 1 here with Hayashi.
That was a masterclass in the art of the chase. The lead driver's not doing what they're supposed to. They're making mistakes, and Kumakubo just maintained composure. He kept his angle. He stayed out of Hayashi's way, and then when it was time to strike, he struck. He's whatever that word is. Got right in there at inside clip 1. Got the car positioned perfectly where it should be, and got on throttle and stuck it to his door all the way down the hill. And from our perspective back here, it looked amazing.
All right, so easy decision there for the judges. Car number 4, Nobushige Kumakubo, is your winner here. He moves on into the Great 8. He is going to be facing Miyoshi. 2 more battles to go in the top 16, and we will flow right into the Great 8. And let's hope that it goes fast, because we really want to avoid this weather. We're seeing some great drifting so far in the top 16, and I want to keep it dry as we see Tomohiro Murayama warming up his tires in the burnout box. Shinji Minowa, who is looking to climb back into contention, got really in a great position last year. In last year's championship, had some incredible battles, especially the battles that have created a rivalry with Koichi Yamashita. Unfortunately, Yamashita out in the top 32, and we're seeing Ueo out, as well as Masuyama in the top 16. So this is potentially a table turner for the championship chase for the guys that we would expect to be up at the top. As we see Murayama going to the line now. Minowa, the higher qualifier, coming in the 3rd position. Murayama was the 14th place qualifier, and now they will do battle here on the Ebisu West Circuit.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Shinji Minowa, a lot of seat time here, great opportunity to do well. He knows this track like the back of his hand. You know, the drivers that have a lot of seat time here are able to place their cars, and they know how to get around this track. So we'll see how this tandem battle plays out now.
Good jump there by Murayama. Minowa blasting down that front straight. Middle initiation, Good anticipation there by Murayama, but he actually overshoots it. Now a gap being established as Minowa hits that inside clip. Nicely done. Great job in outside zone 2. Murayama looks like he has the grip, but unfortunately was not able to get in the pocket as well as he wanted to. And taking a look at this again, Ryan, it looks like Murayama overshot his positioning in outside zone 1. And Minowa looked pretty solid out there.
Yeah, Minowa knows where to put his car, how to get it to the right parts of this track. Look at his line, just a tire slightly over outside zone 1. Murayama goes way off there. Shinji nice and close on inside clip 1, deep on outside zone 2. Great positioning through 3, and nice and tight on inside clip 2 as well. Like I said, he knows how to get his car to the right spot of this track that he needs to have his car positioned. Murayama, on the other hand, was trying to stay with Shinji, but making some critical errors in the chase position, such as outside zone 1. He went wide. You can see his initiation was wide already, and then he kept floating out wide, hit both of those markers, hits inside clip 1. Shinji's just on that nice line. You can see he's composed. His transitions are smooth, snappy. It's looking like he really feels at home on this track.
And we should point out for fans that are just joining us in the broadcast now, if you look at the painted rumble strips, which are actually, they don't have any rumbles on them like at Road Atlanta, those right there, those are actually the width of the zones for outside zones 1, 2, and 3. So when you see a driver getting out to those the cones that designate, that is the furthest point of the zone for the most part. I think outside zone 1, you guys have it just a little bit outside of it, right?
Exactly, because if we get the tire on the rumble strip, which is full points in qualifying, then the bumpers would be hitting every cone if we put them right on the edge. So we give them a little bit of space there, because outside zone 2 can be seen as a pocket. Right. You can get your tire right in that rumble strip on that outside zone and not touch either one of those cones. Heck, I did it in my little crappy missile car. Outside zone 1, on the other hand, is kind of a long, drawn-out one where if you do want to fill that zone, because of the positioning of it and the way the car goes through it, you will knock both of them over if you put a tire
And it's about,
properly.
I think it's about 18 inches of paint for the rumble strip.
It depends on which rumble strip you're talking about.
For outside zone 1.
Inside, yes, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right, here we go, mixing things up. Murayama in the lead. Shinji trying to stay with him on initiation, a snappy one. He gets right into that first outside zone with that left rear tire, but big angle loss here through inside clip number 1. Minowa trying to make an adjustment here as a little bit of that light angle really having an impact on the lead run of Murayama. It almost looked like he was going to shut it down there. Let's take a look at this again. It was a good start, but some trouble from Murayama at inside clip number 1.
At inside clip number 1, I think Murayama's front wheels went to 0 angle. Let's see his initiation. He did okay on outside zone 1, but it's just the area right here where we're having concern. The car did straighten up, the front wheels straightened up, and he made a big error there, but Shinji gave him the space to potentially have an issue, but since Murayama didn't, Shinji got back on the drive and actually did a better job through inside clip 2, and was able to close the door on Murayama through the finish line.
All right, so intuitively, it looks like it's going to Shinji, and it does. Car number 90 moving on. Shinji Minowa, your winner here against Tomohiro Murayama.
So you've got 27th place Kume going up against 22nd place qualifier Matsukawa, who beat 11th place qualifier Yamashita, who did have some car trouble after his contact with the wall yesterday in qualifying, that big dirt hill that we have over here. It did significant amount of damage to his car, considering that it is a soft dirt hill, but it's just the way that he hit it, and it kind of helicoptered him around and did a lot of damage to the car. So he's had some problems with that one since, but you know, they pressure washed the whole thing to get all the mud out of it.
I saw that.
And it looked like maybe they got some water where it shouldn't have been, and that could have caused a bit of a problem.
All right, so the purple S14 on Velinos of Kume was very impressive in his chase run. That was one of the reasons why I think he was able to defeat Kubo. Let's see if he can do that here against Matsukawa. Snaps it right at that third standing cone. He's just going to get to the edge. A little bit of over speeding there from Kume, but he makes an adjustment right outside of inside clip 1. You can see he definitely has the talent, the grip, and the speed to be in the chase position, but got a little bit wonky there leaving inside clip 1. Let's see what happened again on this first run.
Yeah, you could tell he was very eager to stay close and get tight with the lead driver, Matsukawa there. But unfortunately, Matsukawa does not the perfect job on outside zone 1, but right on the inside edge there of that outside zone. In the chase position, Kume is really working, trying to stay close, and it looked like he was working harder on the proximity than staying in drift, and it caused him to lose some angle. I can't say that he went fully straight, but let's watch the drone footage from above. That's going to give us the best indication of what really occurred there. So he went a little bit deeper in outside zone 1, got really close right here, trying to stay close. Yeah, he almost went fully straight in the chase position. It was very, very close, but he managed to stay within proximity, but it probably cost him a little bit there in terms of angle. He did make some compromises to do that, so that'll be put into consideration when we compare the chase runs.
Both drivers heading past us back to the hot grid and then right to the start line for run number 2. The 85 there, the Trueno, against the S14 of Tatsuya Kume. That mistake from him needs to be overcome here. He's really got to lay down a solid lead run. We'll see how the grip and power holds up. And I see you guys holding your hands out. No rain just yet, so let's hold it together, folks. Here we go. Kume out of the gate, but Matsukawa hanging with them. Close initiation. Fills that first outside zone. Matsukawa on the inside, as you see an overshooting by Kume of inside clip 1. He does not, and then there's a mistake right there at outside zone 3. So mistakes from both drivers. Kume not able to fill outside zone 2, and you got to appreciate Matsukawa staying close on initiation. Try not to let Kume get away, but let's take a look at this run one more time.
Look at his mimic on initiation. It was like a shadow. That was great. Kume gets out wide on initiation, gets to outside zone 1, kind of overfills it, goes a little bit long on it and causes him to go long on inside clip 1, and then was really doing a good job through the rest of the course, but in the chase position, Matsukawa just couldn't keep up. I did really like Matsukawa's initiation, though. That mimic was incredible. The timing, look at that, boom, exactly the same time. But it just looked like Matsukawa in the chase could not match what Kume was doing in the lead, even though Kume had a big deduction in angle there at outside zone 2 that would help foster that separation between both drivers. So it makes it very difficult for the chase driver to follow there. So going to come down to each judge now to see who wins.
And Andy Yen goes to Kume one more time for Ryan Lantane, and one more time for Robbie Nishida as well. Majority decision there, forces the one more time. So we will see what the race control wants to do here. We have been told that we are going to get this one more time right underway. So we are going to see this once again from Tatsuya Kume and Kazuya Matsukawa. Ryan had quite a few mistakes, but some awesome moments there. The initiation on the last run was pretty cool in tandem. What's it going to take here to get a win?
Getting on that outside zone 1 and leaving it when it ends, getting to inside clip 1. So making that nice smooth arc from outside zone 1 to inside clip 1 to outside zone 2. Vital part of the track.
Matsukawa in the lead, gets that initiation of the third standing cone. Much better in that outside zone, actually shoots a little bit wide. This could be an opportunity here on the inside for Kume. He's able to close the gap there. Matsukawa carrying a lot of momentum. Kume again getting a little bit out of whack in the chase position. Just not able to do the best mimicking there. Let's take a look at this run one more time, Ryan, and break it down for us.
That AE85 certainly is quick. You can see him coming down the straightaway here to initiation, not holding back at all. Flicks the car into outside zone 1. Great job on outside zone 1, but hangs on it too long. You can see he's way off of inside clip 1. Does an okay job of just touching the edge of that rumble strip for outside zone 2. Same thing in outside zone 3. And he could be more precise. He could be going deeper into those zones. He could get to inside clip 1. But he's going very, very fast in initiation here, and he needs to slow the car down better as after he fills that zone. You can see way, way, way wide on that rumble strip. Not where the car should be at all. In the chase position, you can see Kume doing a good job of adjusting, but just kind of botched that transition right there, going down to outside zone 3. Kind of got himself positioned in the wrong spot just before the transition, so could have done a better job there. But in terms of what the lead driver's doing, not really fulfilling all of their goals in the lead position. You don't want to say that the chase driver is allowed to make mistakes, but when the lead's not doing what they're supposed to, the chase has to try to adapt and kind of you know, put their car in a new place where they're not expecting to. Sometimes it's a little bit trickier, but some drivers are better at it than others.
All right, so the driver's starting to regrid back up to the start line, and the good news for us is even though we see the umbrellas and rain gear out, the drone is still up in the air, and that's the first sign that there is rain coming if the drone removes itself from the air. So good news so far, trying to get as deep into this competition as we possibly can before any possible weather comes into play, because it will get nasty on this track. Tatsuya Kume now goes to the lead position here as Matsukawa will chase him down. This is the one more time battle, the final battle of the top 16. Kume in the lead. Initiates right at that second standing cone. And this time Matsukawa goes a bit too long and deep into that first outside zone. Doesn't anticipate the initiation of Kume. Kume much smoother around second and third outside zone. Matsukawa with a lot of speed there, but does not anticipate the initiation as well as he probably could, and goes way offline there on that first outside zone.
The mimic on the initiation, great again from Matsukawa. Look at this, boom, beautiful. But positioning, not so great. He went 2, maybe 3 tires off at outside zone 1, hitting every outside zone and inside clip marker possible out there on the track, and really not able to keep up to Kume throughout the rest of the course, unfortunately. But great job on the timing of the initiation. He's very, very good at mimicking the initiation. It's just unfortunately the positioning on the track was not ideal. And look at Kume, got inside clip 1, really cleaned that up, deep in outside zone 2. Good job in outside zone 3, and Matsukawa, unfortunately, in the chase position, unable to really keep up to Kume.
All right, so from the sounds of that talk, it seems like Ryan is going, and all 3 judges are going in the direction of Tatsuya Kume. Car number 88 defeats Kazuya Matsukawa in the AE85 Trueno. He is out of competition, so both 85s are out, and that leaves us with a full grade 8. This should be a doozy. This was the final battle last year at Fuji, at the Fuji Speedway, where we have one of our bigger events, Shang Nian defeating Andrew Gray in that final with his dad there. It was a real emotional moment. These guys have driven together probably just about as much as anybody that you can think of. They spend a lot of time up here, and they travel around doing the Formula Drift Japan Championship.
A real teacher and son kind of relationship.
This is a Mr. Miyagi and Daniel's son relationship here.
Yeah, you got it.
So the higher qualifier of Andrew Gray taking the lead here. Nian came at 16, Gray at number 9. Both drivers out, blasting down that front straight. Gray and Nian initiate pretty close to each other. Pretty good job by Gray on that first outside zone. Shang sticking with him here, no major mistakes. Gray excellent on outside zone 2. Shang coming through the smoke line, sacrifices getting out to outside zone 3 to gain proximity. And it may have been the right decision there because we got some good proximity out of it, but he does miss that outside zone 3. Let's take a look at this again.
I love the way Nian dove in from outside zone 2 to 3, the way he got his car positioned and slowed down. That was great. Look at Andy Gray here on initiation. Right on the outside zone 1 rumble strip, but leaves it a little bit early. Nian's right there with him. Now Nian's going to rocket forward here. He's going to miss that outside zone 3, but man, did he get his car positioned from our viewpoint here really, really well. So let's watch from the sky and see what we see from the drone footage here that really tells us everything we need to know about car placement and any kind of mistakes that were made. Andy Gray doing an awesome job on inside clip 1. Nian right there, and then Nian kind of rockets forward here on a tighter line somewhat, but just the way he got himself positioned in there and braked, got the car slowed down just right. Really great to watch from over here.
Well, Andrew Gray is known to be one of the best chase drivers in the business here in Formula Drift Japan. And as we see Shang making his way back, he will be chasing him down. Both gentlemen laying it all out there in run number 1. And run number 2 will be very decisive. Andrew Gray always going for a championship. He is the winningest driver in Formula Drift Japan, 3 championships to his name. Shang Nian, that lone win last year, but has certainly become a much stronger force in the FD Japan Championship over the past couple years. Since the last time many fans may have seen him stateside for Pro 2, he has developed into a very solid driver. All right, Cheng Yin out of the gate through the chicane. Andrew Gray not letting him get away. Coming into initiation, look at Andrew Gray right on that back bumper already, but great job by Shang out front, tight on that inside clip, reaching into outside zone 2. Good battle on him here. Maybe you got a little bit long. Here comes Gray, door-to-door action, keeping it close, driving right through the smoke line of Shang Nian, and that is what we have come to expect from Andrew Gray as we take a look at this run. An excellent run by both drivers one more time.
Yeah, well done by both of them here. Nian in the lead position, knows he's got to throw it down. Went a little bit deep on outside zone 1, but filled it fully in terms of the length. Got out wide on outside zone number 2 there. A little bit too long on it, actually. Hit the outside zone marker. But Andy Gray treating that lead car like a moving clipping point like he should be. He was Nian's shadow through that run, really knowing that he can trust Nian's inputs. He knows that Nian's not going to play any games, not going to do anything sketchy up front, and he can get nice and close and push really hard. So you can see there, Nian went long on outside zone number 2.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, look at the way he dove in there. Nian was long on outside zone 3 as well, and I think Andrew Gray knew that he had to stick it to Nian's door, and he did a great job of doing so.
That was the first time in this event I think we've got smoked out on that last corner too.
Yep, two very powerful cars throwing up a lot of smoke there.
All right, all 3 judges going the way of Andrew Gray as suspected there, and that was definitely deserving of a Final 4 battle, but great to see in the Grade 8 as well. That'll certainly shake up things for the championship as Andrew Gray is now hacking off a few points from the guys that are out in front as he comes into this round in 5th place, trying to chase down Masuyama, Yamashita, and Ueo, who are all out of competition right now. Fujinaka coming to the line. It is MANABU Fujinaka against Kazuya Iizuka. Now this is the best that Iizuka has done so far this year. He had an early knockout in the top 16 last round in that vehicle that he's been developing. A lot of advanced technology being used on that car, and it has certainly been getting better each practice session that we've seen, and it is certainly one to watch, but he's got a tough competitor here against him in MANABU Fujinaka. Fujinaka qualified 20, Iizuka number 12.
All these people with their windshield wipers at the start line are making me nervous, but it doesn't seem to be raining at all.
No, the drone is still up in the air. There's no rain, at least where we are. So Iizuka blasting through that chicane, nearly hitting a cone, but gets a good jump against Fujinaka. He's going to go right into that outside zone, just getting a little bit wide there, but makes it look good, and Fujinaka is way off base here. He's far behind, and he way overshot that first inside clip, and also the second inside clip through the finish line. So that was very off balance there in terms of performance. Iizuka doing a great job in the lead position with very few mistakes. What happened to Fujinaka, Ryan?
Well, in that first season of competition with that A5, he's proving that it's very competitive right out of the box. Great job on outside zone 1, getting that tire just slightly over the rumble strip there. Fujinaka in the chase, not able to keep composure in the chase position there, not really able to follow the same line through either inside clip. You can see him going way wide at inside clip 2 there, just like he did at inside clip 1, and kind of stalling up. So when Fujinaka goes to the lead, that may be something that Iizuka has to pay attention to, as we, you'd expect he might do the same thing in the lead position, but you can see he's way off there. Iizuka did a great job. He's really adhering to the lead driver's responsibilities, taking them seriously and actually following through on them. I know a lot of drivers have been trying to do it, but they just haven't been able to put it together, as well as a couple of drivers like Iizuka here today.
And now we will switch things up here with Iizuka going to the chase position. And Fujinaka, who seems to be at a deficit here, at least on paper, will go to the lead.
I think that's fair to say, Ryan.
Well, you know, it'd be cool. If I had a judge sitting next to me, I could learn a lot more.
Try to find you an accomplished judge to come replace me.
I know.
The lights are lighting up.
And here we go. Fujinaka gets a good jump. Iizuka doesn't want to let him get away. Initiates. Iizuka a step later on his initiation, but keeping it close. Uh-oh. And again, overshooting it is Fujinaka. Iizuka anticipates it, and he takes a daring move there. That's the first time that we've seen that. On the face of it, it seems like that should fly.
Did he just drive him off the track?
It looked like Fujinaka was way off inside clip 1. He was trying to make his way back, but was going nearly off course, and Iizuka came up on the inside and made that pass. So now it will be really a question of, was it legitimate? Let's take a look.
Outside zone 1, Fujinaka did go slightly a tire off there, but Iizuka went even further. Right here.
I think he got it. Well, I don't want to put anything in your head, but.
No, but it looks like he did, but Fujinaka's car turned off. So I don't know if he turned off before that or because of that. That's the question, because he sat there for quite a while, and then you heard his car start up again quite a bit later. So it's going to come down to magical drone footage if we have it.
The question is going to be whether or not he could get back to outside zone 2, and I think we will find out here. Walk us through your feelings as you're watching this.
Yeah, he's very, very wide. Iizuka takes the opportunity to go around.
You see that darting motion from Fujinaka to the left-hand side,
yeah,
trying to maybe avoid contact there, but he was way wide on that first inside clip. So this is a tough one. What say you?
This is a tough one, Ryan. It's not easy to come up with a fair assessment of this. So I think the fairest way to do it is to maybe have them go again. In my eyes, it's kind of like a shared responsibility in a sense. One guy hesitated before he went, and then by the time he did go, he kind of got in the way of the other driver. But the other driver was so far offline and making such a mistake that it's almost like they forced each other's hands to do two separate things that caused that right there.
All right, so it sounds like a little bit of ambiguity here, and Andy Yen is making a commitment for Iizuka one more time and one more time. Yeah. So we are seeing a majority decision with the ambiguity from the pass that got real close, but the 2 of the 3 judges want to see it one more time. Okay. Yeah, I think it's either Iizuka or one more time. It can't go in the other direction.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, looks like we're ready to send these guys.
And the finger pointing means light goes on, off means go. Miyoshi leaving the line. Big burnout there from Kumakubo out of the gate. Middle of the course. Snap, big angle. But he gets into that zone early, and he goes a bit wide. And now we see some breaking through that first inside clip. Kumakubo having to make an adjustment, keeping the pressure on. Oh, it looks like they may have made contact there. Oh. And now we are seeing a lot of happenings here on that final inside clip where drivers are. Kumakubo lost a little bit of angle there. There may have been some contact right before outside zone 2, but Ryan, let's take a look at it again.
Kumakubo went way inside on initiation. He wasn't really going out wide with Miyoshi, but it looks like right here is where Kumakubo dives in, tries to get really close, and then he gets choked up a little bit, and he can't quite finish the course with the angle that he should in that area. So he did make a mistake there. Let's watch the overhead view to get a better idea of what's going on. So you can see Miyoshi nice and wide. Kumakubo taking that tighter line, and then he goes way tight here. Miyoshi's nice on inside clip 1. Kumakubo gets nice and close there, and then right here he kind of falls off a little bit, loses angle, not really able to finish strong.
Is Miyoshi offline on outside zone 1 for hitting the cone?
Could have been a tire off there in that area, but I don't think it was a severe one, slightly off. The outside zone marker where it is, you could technically still be on the edge of that rumble strip and hit it with a
bumper.
Yeah, like a bigger trunk and bumper, and R34s tend to have a little bit bigger, I guess. Not quite JZX length, but could have been still right on the edge of that line.
And confirming there, no contact, so it was just a lot of back and forward movement through the smoke line, but no contact on that run. And now Kumakubo will go to the lead position.
Kumakubo had positioned himself so well in the previous tandem battle. In this one, it seemed like he tried, but he failed in a couple of attempts, right?
All right, here we go. Miyoshi giving him a little bit of room here. Initiates a little bit later. Kumakubo into that first outside zone. Miyoshi looks like he might wash out here on that inside clip. This is a better lead run from Kubo, and he is establishing a bit of a gap here. Now Miyoshi trying to come back on that last inside clip, but not able to get that door-to-door action that you want. And taking a look at it one more time, both drivers giving their best here in the grade 8.
Hard to see who has a real advantage in this one. Kubo kind of has the same line as Miyoshi did in the lead. Didn't quite hit that outside zone marker, but really similar mistakes made by the chase driver in this one too, missing some outside zones, not quite filling everything the way he should, not mimicking the lead driver. It's kind of the same thing that Kubo did in his chase, just not in the exact same area on the track. You know, Miyoshi does a better job through outside zone 1 of mimicking, is falling off a little bit here, doesn't go as deep in outside zone number 2 or 3, and kind of washes out slightly there. Not really, kind of follows, but not really close. It's, yeah, there's nothing really that stands out from either driver in either position in either run. So it's not really one that screams to you a winner, you know. So I feel that one more time would be kind of required there to see them go again and try it one more time.
Well, that'll definitely do it, because if you voted it, yep, 2 out of the 3. As Robbie Nishida wants that pizza, he goes to Nobushibe Kubo, but it is a majority rules here. We will see that one more time, and it looks like we probably will go back to the previous one more time battle of Fujinaka versus Iizuka. No, we are actually going to go to Shinji Minowa versus Tetsuya Kume. This is the last battle of the grade 8, but we do have 2 one more times to revisit. So let's see if we can get another driver into the Final Four with Andrew Gray. Both drivers at the line. Minowa has quietly asserted himself as a real contender for this weekend with a high qualification and some great battles in 32 and 16. And here we go. Good jump there by Kume, anticipating the grip of Shinji Minowa, and does it well. Minowa initiates, beautifully executed on outside zone 1. Kume coming forward, very close there. Great job by him, but he makes an adjustment. Oh, and he goes off course. He got super close on proximity, but it falls apart after outside zone number 2. And Minowa, on the other hand, looked like he was really doing a great job in the lead position.
Yeah, it looked like in the chase there, Kume kind of drove the car away from outside zone 2 instead of transitioning it. He tried to drive it away from the back of Shinji Minowa's car and to try to avoid getting hit by him on the transition. So see here, he kind of drives it away from him, and it forces him to go really wide and gets him offline, gets him out of his groove, gets him out of everything there. So that's unfortunately a big mistake from Kume. In the lead position, Shinji's doing what he should be doing, getting the car to angle, filling outside zone 1 like he's doing repeatedly. Nice and tight on inside clip 1, maybe on the second hash mark, could have been slightly tighter, but compared to a lot of the other drivers here today, he's doing very well on inside clip 1. And inside clip 2, again, could have been slightly tighter, but a lot tighter than a lot of other drivers as well.
So Kume not afraid to push the pace. We've seen him with some pretty good proximity, but really it's the sloppiness that's been hurting him here. He gets some great closeness, door-to-door action, but he moves away from Minowa on that transition and drives away, as you say, and kind of gave a bit of a potentially unnecessary advantage to Shinji Minowa.
Yeah.
But now we will switch things up. Minowa will go to the chase position, and Kume will take the lead. It looks like we are getting a hand out of the, oh, I think
little wave.
Confused. There we go.
Yeah, trying to lead twice. He just likes leading, I think, on this track. He's pretty good at it here. Knows his way around.
So Minowa getting some words there with one of our track stewards. Looks like he is asking to have the vehicle checked. Potentially, maybe he thought Kume made contact with him. Looks like we are ready to go. Lights extinguish. Kume blasting through the chicane. Shinji Minowa hopefully getting some good advice from his spotter. And a bit deep there in that first outside zone. Anticipation by Minowa good. Shallow and not getting into outside zone 2 is Kume. And Minowa, exclamation point there towards the end. And you have to imagine with the mistakes from Kume in his chase run, that will be our next driver into the final 4 of Minowa.
It looked like Minowa made a couple of corrections in the chase, but it could be due to some of the inputs from the lead driver. Let's look at his angle here as he comes through. See his angle not really matching the angle of Kume through that area. Kume's wide on inside clip 1, entirely misses outside zone 2, gets deeper in outside zone 3 where Shinji's able to put on a little bit more pressure as he's seeing that lead driver go into the areas that he's supposed to. So as we watch the overhead view from the drone, it's going to give us some much better insight into what was going on from above. Looking at the initiation, you can see here there's a bit of a gap created. Shinji does pour on some angle a little bit later, but kind of didn't have it in the beginning. You can see Kume no angle there, and Shinji's matching him. To be honest, he's not bettering what Kume's doing, but he's definitely matching that lower amount of angle from Kume in an outside zone 2 area. So you can't say that Shinji wasn't mimicking. Didn't look great what Shinji was doing, but Kume was not doing a great job in the lead through that area either.
And you know, the big mistake by Kume in his chase position, you could say that he potentially lost the chases as well.
Yeah, definitely big mistake there from Kume that really, not an incomplete, but is really hard to overcome.
All 3 judges slide it left for the winner, Shinji Minowa. He'll be moving on into the final 4. And we are being told that we are going to be moving back to the one more time battle of Fujinaka and Iizuka. So we will see the RX-7 and the Audi A5 back on the line here shortly. All right, so we are hearing that MANABU Fujinaka is calling and using his competition timeout. So this is Miyoshi and Kumakubo, the one more time battle.
Very professional looking Kumakubo in his headshot with his little suit and tie, taxi driver vest looking thing, racing suit basically that looks like a taxi driver's vest and tie. Makes him look very professional. He does a lot of the ride-alongs for the Team Orange taxis, so they had these suits made to represent what a lot of the taxi drivers look like in Tokyo.
All right, so here comes Kumakubo meeting up for this matchup here with Hayato Miyoshi.
Another windshield wiper sweep. Why do they keep doing that? Freaking me out.
Yeah, so far the clouds haven't moved much in this direction, and we've made it all the way to the grade 8, so let's keep our fingers crossed. Miyoshi, Kumakubo, one more time battle. Miyoshi, wicked initiation, little bit deep there, and a good anticipation by Kumakubo. Very close battle, rubbing right there through outside zone 2. Good transition to back around outside zone 3. Kumakubo keeping the pressure on, and yes, that was awesome.
That's what we want to see, Ryan. That was a beautiful run from both drivers. Kumakubo got himself in the right position early on, did a great job of mimicking what Miyoshi was doing through outside zone 1 to inside clip 1 to outside zone 2. If you look at his initiation, nicely mimicked there. Miyoshi one tire off, left slightly early of outside zone 1, but look at Kumakubo right there, not missing a beat. He's right with him, transitioned pretty much exactly at the same time. Great mimic. Great follow there from Kumakubo. Miyoshi did a good job in the lead as well. Really the only thing he did wrong was that outside zone 1 tire off for the most part. He could have been a little bit closer on the inside clip. Maybe left outside zone 1 a little bit early, but he kind of early apex that inside clip. You can see there that
rubbing.
Yeah, Kumakubo's right with him. His you know, now that I see it from overhead, his angle was lacking a little bit at outside zone 2 as well in the lead position. So, you know, Kumakubo in this situation going into the lead now, his opportunity is going to be in outside zone 1, filling that zone better. So not so early on the zone, going a tire off, but getting to the beginning of it where it starts as opposed to going in early and dropping a tire, and also filling it better, drawing a better arc from outside zone 1 to inside clip 1, better angle at outside zone 2. So he does have some nice areas of opportunity here where he should be able to better what Miyoshi did in his lead.
All right, so this is now pretty much living up to the expectations. You can see the head shake in the vehicle from Kumakubo as he prepares for his lead run. Miyoshi with that really big snap initiation did a great job there, but he did get into that first outside zone a bit too deep and possibly a bit too early as well, and leaving it a bit early. So some opportunities here for both drivers. Kumakubo in the lead. He initiates aggressively as well. Nicely executed on outside zone 1, very similar. Coming through this, you can see the proximity is not the same. Miyoshi still a bit behind, and Kumakubo is running that deep line, doing a great job. He's not trying to run away, and it looks like it may be going in the direction of the track owner. Let's take a look at this one more time, going through the details.
It's almost like Kumakubo was listening to me earlier. He did a great job on outside zone 1. He did exactly what he needed to. Look at that, right on the rumble strip, beautiful job. Gets nice and tight on inside clip 1. Miyoshi's there with him up until a point, right? You see that Kumakubo goes nice into outside zone 3 and 2, and then clean on inside clip 2 as well. Miyoshi kind of fell back a little bit, wasn't really able to mimic exactly what Kumakubo was doing. So Kumakubo is setting a high standard here for Miyoshi to follow, and it's proving to be a little bit too much for Miyoshi.
Well, if Kumakubo gets a win here, it will mean not only is he moving on into the Final Four, it also means that Shinji Minowa, the number 3 qualifier, is guaranteed a podium. And that looks like it is going to happen. All 3 judges unanimously going in the favor of Nobushige Kumakubo. He is in the Final Four. He will take on Shinji Minowa.
Fujinaka took his competition timeout to attempt to fix his left rear axle, actually replace his left rear axle. He was not able to do so in the time allotted, and unfortunately had to bow out of competition, which gives Iizuka the automatic win there in getting him into the top 4.
So that is big news. That means a bye run moving Iizuka into the Final Four. That is going to be a big victory for him. With the debut of this new vehicle this year, he will take his bye lap and he will face Andrew Gray. So I believe what's going to happen here is we will get the bye lap from Iizuka. We will move back over to the right-hand side of the bracket as Kumakubo will change his tires and face Shinji Minowa. Unless otherwise noted, that seems the way that we are going to go.
Nope, not happening. Good thing this is a practice lap kind of for him. We were curious how that would work as an outside zone, and he almost showed it to us right there.
Yeah, he did.
Ryan, so because this was, everybody has just kind of finished their runs, they're going to do a little commercial right now, and we're going to go to the next set of top 4 battles after the commercial, just because everybody needs tires.
We have made our way through competition. We are in the Final Four. We've got a guaranteed podium from Shinji Minowa, who qualified 3rd. And we've got Andrew Gray versus Iizuka on the left-hand side of the bracket. And on the right-hand side of the bracket, it is Nobushige Kumakubo taking on Shinji Minowa. And this should be an interesting battle. I don't recall seeing these guys do many practice laps together, but we do know that Andrew Gray's assets are wide and strong. Not only does he have a fast, grippy vehicle, he is one of the best chase drivers in the business. And Iizuka has really got this beautiful car that's being developed. It's had some great progress from round 1 to round 2. But the question will be is, can he hang with Andrew Gray? And does he have it in him to chase him down and put pressure on the 3-time champ? So Iizuka creeping forward here. For the record, Andrew Gray qualified 9th, Iizuka qualified 12th, so fairly evenly matched from qualifying. But it is the head-to-head matchups that make or break your positioning at the end of the event. All right, right, the starter walking over. Big test here for Iizuka. Looking good, but does he have enough to put the pressure on Andrew Gray? We'll find out in this chase run right now as the light extinguishes. Good jump there by Iizuka. Andrew Gray, the heck? Initiates right into that first outside zone. And Iizuka trying to stick with Andrew Gray. Gray doing a great job in the lead position. No major pressure here. Iizuka falling back a little bit, and the first major test has shown that Andrew Gray still has, look at that. I didn't want to say anything. There was a spider in my mouth. That's what that was, okay?
All right. He's just sitting there right now hanging out.
All right, walk us through this as I freak out.
Iizuka never really put pressure on Andrew here. Andrew did a good job through outside zone 1. Maybe just dropped the tire slightly over, but clean on inside clip 1. Good job on outside zone 2 and 3. You can see that Iizuka was there, but not really pushing. He wasn't close to Andrew Gray. Wasn't, rubbing doors with him. Definitely could have been closer. And if you're going to be running against Andrew Gray, you do not want to give this man an inch because he will tear you apart. And this is really Iizuka giving Andrew Gray kind of free reign in the lead position. You can see how much space he gave him there, especially from this overhead view. Andrew is definitely going to be closer to Iizuka's door if he can do anything about that at all. You know, he's going to try to put pressure on him, and he's going to try to win this battle. And that's kind of the risk. It's part of the game. If you chase first, you have to kind of feel out. Do I put a lot of pressure on this lead driver? Do I take a big chance here and get really close and potentially make a mistake, or do I sit back a little bit and give him a little buffer? And it looks like, I don't know. In my opinion, Iizuka gave him too much space. I don't think that Andrew Gray is going to give him that kind of space when he's chasing.
Yeah, I don't think so. Andrew Gray will definitely keep the pressure on, and we will find out how this first test for Final Four battle winds itself out for Iizuka. Apologize for that. That was, I'm telling you, I
saw it. I watched the whole thing.
I'm like, what is that on my lip? What is on my lip? I opened my mouth and a spider went in my mouth and I spit it out, okay? That was very unprofessional. I'm sorry about that, but that was freaking out.
Hey,
all right, here we go.
That happens.
Iizuka taking the lead. Nice initiation, leading into that first outside zone. Gray expected him to be a little bit closer. Now he's pouring the pressure on. Much better job. Nice transition, matching it back around. This is a great lead run from Iizuka, but Andrew Gray really putting the pressure on through the finish line in that last inside clip.
Yeah, you can see that Andrew Gray gave him a little bit of space through outside zone 1, but as soon as they got to inner clip 1, Andrew let the car float out and get a little bit closer and kind of kept it there for the rest of the run. Iizuka goes a tire perhaps 2 off on outside zone 1, is pretty much the same distance from inside clip 1 as Gray was, but look at where Andrew Gray is compared to where Iizuka was on his chase. He's right there a couple of feet away, but even through the kind of the heart of the track there was a lot closer. So look at it from the overhead view here. You can really see where Andrew gives him, a couple of car widths there, starts to put on the pressure right here. You can see him getting a few feet away, transitions very nicely with him, and then tucks right in nicely beside him right here through inside clip 2.
I just want to say it seemed like Andrew Gray did exactly what he thought he needed to do.
Yes.
Not just what he needed to do, but what he thought he needed to do, and that really is your spotter.
Yeah, no, that's...
And we know that he has an incredible spotter.
Exactly. You don't want to overdrive your hand. You don't overplay your hand. You don't want to push too hard for what you have to and take unnecessary risks.
And it looks like it is going in the favor of Andrew Gray unanimously. A great overall event for Kazuya Iizuka, definitely not needing to hang your head at all, but Andrew Gray finds himself in another final, his first final this year, the 3-time champion, trying to get back on that championship chase, as he will face the winner of this next battle, Kumakubo versus Shinji Minowa.
That's Kazama on the left side with his hands in the air with the red lanyard on. He owns the car that Kumakubo's driving. He also owns the S15 that Suinaga put on his roof yesterday. So a stressful weekend for him. He used to drive, he used to compete in FD. He's been competing for many, many years in many different drift series. But he decided to hang up his hat and become a team owner instead of a driver himself. And his cars are doing really, really well. despite having been, one of them having been on its roof. You can see the drivers really putting them through their paces and able to, you could tell that they're well set up the way that Kumakubo is driving this thing, and I don't think he would have driven anything that wasn't well set up just because of his experience and his time in the industry, let's say. So he knows what he needs to have under him to do well.
Kazama Auto and Heyman, here we go. It is Minowa blasting down, using all the course on his initiation. Kumakubo times it nicely, keeps the angle and the line very similar to Shinji Minowa. The battle getting out of the gate very solidly so far. Minowa maybe a little bit long on that second outside zone. Kumakubo keeping the pressure on and then backing off there towards that last inside clip, but overall very impressive, and it's hard to know who's going to get the win here. Let's take a look at this one more time as Shinji Minowa takes the lead.
Well, in my opinion, Shinji's being pushed a little bit by Kumakubo here. Shinji might be a little bit nervous. You can see that he made an uncharacteristic mistake. He went wide at outside zone 1, hit that outside zone marker. Kind of close there on inside clip 1. Good job there. Deep in outside zone 2. Kumakubo missed outside zone 2, but it set him up really well for outside zone 3. He did back off a little bit before inside clip 2, but was really close in putting pressure on Shinji throughout the run. So you can see that maybe those years of experience worrying Shinji a little bit, but you can see that Shinji is doing what he's supposed to for the most part in the lead. Nice and tight on that clip. Great job there on outside zone 2. And again, Kumakubo not really filling outside zone 2 and kind of washing out a little bit there before inside clip 2. This overhead view just gives us a whole different perspective that we didn't really have up until these drones showed up, and very, very helpful. It can actually contradict something that you say earlier on, because what you see from the sky is so telling and really gives you a perfect idea, a perfect indication of what's going on for real on the track.
All right, so both drivers heading back to the start line here. A good way to start off the first half of that battle. Shinji looks like he's in a good position, but I think striking distance, Kumakubo not too far away. A solid lead run where we saw Shinji make that mistake in outside zone 1. And also if he's able to establish a gap, maybe enough to force a one more time or even get the win here. But I think it's anybody's battle at this point, very close, with enough mistakes from both drivers to see where they could make some improvements here on run number 2. Light has extinguished. Shinji getting a bit of a jump there. Kumakubo into initiation very early. He's going to go a bit deep into outside zone 1 as well. Ooh. But he's going to be tighter. Shinji tightening up his angle before inside clip 1. Out to outside zone 2. Great job there by Kumakubo. Shinji taking that inside line, trying to close the door here. Great proximity towards the end. And a great way to cap off that battle as we take a look at it one more time.
Shinji really positioned himself well. You could see him way wide down the straightaway, getting himself lined up for that flick initiation to stay with Kumakubo. Kumakubo knew he had to run a solid lead run. You can see here he goes probably 2 wheels off at outside zone 1, unfortunately. He did go wider on inside clip 1 than Shinji did. Not quite as deep in outside zone 2, but Shinji there fell back a little bit and then got close at the end, whereas in the chase position for Kumakubo, he was close early and fell back near the end. So they kind of traded their mistakes, let's say. Let's watch here from the sky and see really what happened. Shinji doing a great job of mimicking what Kumakubo's doing, following him exactly where he's going throughout the course. I think Shinji did a better job of maybe matching what Kumakubo was doing through outside zone 2 and 3, and then just sticks it to his door through the finish line. So I think that Shinji did a better job in the chase potentially, just by mimicking and putting his car where he needed to. And then in the lead position, Kumakubo did drop a tire, maybe 2 even tires on outside zone number 1. So that's something that Shinji did, maybe to a lesser extent in his lead run.
Okay. So we now go to the official result here. It's a one more time for Andy Yen. It's a win for Ryan Lantane. And it's a one more time for Robbie Nishida. So Ryan Lantane, the outlier there, going with Shinji Minowa, but it's a one more time for the other 2 judges, which make it a majority one more time. We've got Andrew Gray waiting in the wings as we try to get a winner to our semifinal battle here, which has gone a one more time. It's against Nobushige Kumakubo and Shinji Minowa. Wherever you are, if you're joining us, we thank you. And we have got this battle and then the finals left to go. And the weather has not materialized, and that is a good thing because we still have dry, fast conditions. We saw a great back and forth battle with both drivers having some really high marks in certain areas of the course, other areas where they could have improved, and 2 out of the 3 judges going one more time. So we will see this one again. As you can see, there is Kubo driving this weekend only, most likely, since it is his home track and his track. But this gentleman here to the right, Shinji Minowa, is charging for a championship. He does not want his chase to be spoiled right here in the Final Four by a driver that is not going to be competing all year long. So here we go, the one more time battle. Minowa taking the lead, leaving the chicane, middle of the course, initiates right at the second standing cone, and gets into that outside zone, very similar to run number 1. Kubo trying to look for an advantage here. He does get out to outside zone 2 this time, keeping the pressure on. Great lead run here by Shinji Minowa, but Kubo was able to better his chase run the second time around. Greater proximity, he got out to outside zone 2, and it was better overall than the first run.
Yeah, you can see Kubo learning as he goes along here, learning what the lead driver's tendencies are, where they tend to go on the track, and really getting to the right position behind him. You can see right there again, Shinji Minowa dropping a tire, hitting that marker, and I guess we're going to see it from the sky first. So as you watch here, as he initiates, Kubo did a great job of mimicking his initiation. Perfect positioning here, coming into inside clip 1, really good job. Shinji, great job there on outside zone 2. Kubo matching him. Kubo had a slight hesitation on rotation to outside zone 3, but stuck with him all the way through. And really, you could say that was the only mistake that Kubo made. He had that little bobble as he was setting up for the transition. He kind of paused a little bit, but other than that, had his car, that initiation was phenomenal. His positioning all the way through was in the pocket, as you say. He's in the right position behind Shinji. Never got ahead of him. Never got in the right position, or in the wrong position. I mean, he never really impeded on Shinji's line, and just did a great job mimicking and matching what he was doing throughout the run.
All right, so Kubo may be in the assertive position here. He did an excellent job in the chase with very, very marginally small, minor adjustments that maybe could have been made to make it perfect. So he's got an opportunity here. If he can run a better lead run than Shinji Minowa, he may be moving on into the finals, but Minowa does not want to give that up. He's looking to acquire as many championship points as he can, and a final against Andrew Gray would help him do that. Minowa gets that jump out of the gate. Kubo through the chicane. Rocket chip into initiation. Gets into that outside zone. Pretty good job there by Kubo. Minowa keeping it close through that first inside clip. Oh, Minowa losing a little bit of angle there, and now losing some proximity. Is he giving it away to Kubo as he now comes back and fights towards the last section of the course? We did see some mistakes there, Ryan, and walk us through this second run.
Yeah, that chase run from Kubo is going to be hard to beat. Looking at the lead run, though, Shinji did make 1 or 2 mistakes that Kubo could improve upon, and I think he may have done it here. If you look at the replay, he was right on the rumble strip, whereas Shinji did go a tire off about the second hash mark on inside clip 1, and then this is where Shinji kind of falls back. He makes a mistake, makes a bobble, doesn't get out to outside zone 3, and loses proximity as well. So when it comes to the chase comparisons, I think that Kubo did a better job. And you compare the leads, I think Kubo also did a better job there. You can see from the overhead shot here, nice initiation. Shinji's doing a good job at this point of mimicking what he's doing. Kubo did have a little bobble there, but look at him going out wide to outside zone 1 and outside zone, 2 and 3, whereas Shinji does not do that. Shinji kind of fell back a little bit there, didn't have the proximity anymore, and also had to cheat the line through outside zone 3, especially to try to catch back up to Kubo.
Wow, okay, a lot of heavy breathing over here as we await the judge's final decision. I can see Robbie Nishida writing some notes down there, but it looks like the scores have already been put in. Here we go. 1 for Kubo, 2 for Kubo. He is going to the finals. It is a unanimous decision here for Nobushige Kubo, who is making an impression here at his own home track, defeating Shinji Minowa, and the fans are loving it here on site. He will go to the finals against Andrew Gray. And is it any coincidence, Ryan, that the 2 drivers that spend the most time at this track seemingly are the drivers in the finals.
Yeah, look at that. The guys that live here essentially are the ones that have made it all the way to the finals.
This is the final battle, and it has been building up to be a spectacular one. We've got Japan versus Scotland, owner versus renter, Linglong versus Valino. The two tire manufacturers that battle here in the finals. Andrew Gray versus Nobushige Kumokubo. I think this is a win all around for Kumokubo no matter what. If he loses, then he can ask Andrew for more rent.
Interesting.
But if he wins, he wins.
Yeah, but Andrew's the one that brings a lot of customers into his track. So
hey, come on.
It's true.
It is true.
Power vehicles, all the crazy gaijins that come here from all over the world, buy cars from him, rent time at the track to drive. They come out for the Matsuri events that happen a few times every year. They get wild, they get crazy, and Andrew Gray's the one that babysits all of us, him and his wife, Emily. Try to keep us all in check. Well, not me, I'm very responsible. Keeps everybody else in check, let's say.
Well, knowing both of these gentlemen, it is going to be no holds barred. They're going to be pushing no matter what. Obviously, know each other very well, very friendly with each other, working relationship, but this is competition.
Also somewhat teammates, as you can see. Kazama is one of the sponsors of Andrew Gray as well.
That's right.
And those cars kind of travel around with him, so they're sort of teammates, co-workers, boss, and I don't know, subordinate, it's not the right word, but you know, employee, sort of more or less, kind of renter and owner, and many different relationships on the line here.
Many, many.
Yes. Pizza maker and pizza eater.
So after a long weekend of rain and some shine, we've got a dry final here. Kumokubo versus Gray. Kumokubo will take the lead. He was the higher qualifier.
It's a big claim being made on the YouTube chat.
Here we go. Nice initiation there. Gray a little bit deeper. Kumokubo is going to go wide, pushing a little bit hard now. Tight line back into that inside clip. Gray keeping the pressure on. Both drivers looking in sync here. And we've got red, black, and white all over the track as Andrew Gray towing up that rear end and taking that inside line, pushing the pace against Kumokubo. Let's see. We still see a lot of action at that first outside zone, Ryan. So what happened?
It looks like Gray actually physically pushed Kumokubo through inside clip number 2. But look here. Yeah, Kumokubo's quite a bit off, and Andrew Gray's following him exactly as he should. So Kumokubo definitely 2 wheels off there. Could have been deeper in outside zone number 2. Did good job in outside zone number 3, and then I think it looked like there was a little rub right there maybe, but maybe not. The sky view here will tell us from the drone. So look at initiation here. It looks like Gray was in the position that he should be, kind of in the pocket, and he maintains that through outside zone 2. Transitions really nicely here. And then as they come through inside clip 1, there's maybe a little rub right there, but just a little pat on the door there, just a little, hey, I'm right here, just to let him know that he is sticking it to the door. He's staying close throughout the run, and that was a pretty exciting run there from both of those drivers. Now Kumokubo has to stay close with Andrew Gray. Andrew Gray has the opportunity here to do a better job on outside zone 1. He could maintain tires on track, so not going past that rumble strip that's so dark on the ground right now, but is visible. You just have to keep your tire on that rumble strip, so that means not going over that rumble strip, not going into the pavement beyond it. Andrew Gray, with the big trunk that he has on that car, could put a tire on the rumble strip, technically being on track, and still hit that marker for the outside zone.
All right, so a great way to start off the final battle here with these two legendary competitors. Switching the rotation up, Andrew Gray will take the lead here. Kumokubo will chase him down, and the light is extinguished. We are off. Kumokubo getting a bit of a jump out there, wants to keep it close to Andrew Gray. Can Gray do a better lead? Both initiating at the same time. Gray into that zone. Pretty good job there. Kumokubo, good pressure through that inside clip. Gray getting into outside zone number 2. Kumokubo through the smoke line. Great job here overall, keeping the pressure on. And wow, what a final here. Tough call for the judges. Let's take a look at this run one more time.
The battle that just happened was is perfect for the finals. This was a lot of fun. Watching Andrew Gray, it looks like he did a better job on outside zone 1. If you watch the initiation, look at his back tire. He did go slightly a tire off, but I think Kumukuma might have gone 2 tires off there. Andrew Gray deep in outside zone 2. Great job in outside zone 3, but Kumukubo right there with him. So, you know, not as close at the finish line as Andrew Gray was, but we're going to see the sky view here. This will really point out any inconsistencies and things that I just said that were completely wrong. It's awesome how well this view gives us perspective on what's happening. So you can see Andrew Gray, better job on outside zone 1. Might have been slightly off of inside clip 1 compared to what Kumukubo did, and great job through the rest of the course. Kumukubo doing what he needs to do in the chase, keeping him within striking distance, not necessarily attacking the way that he could have through the latter part of the course. He was close through the beginning. Kumukubo did have a couple of areas of less angle in the chase position, so we're going to have to see how the judges voted on this one. But, of course, we're not going to be able to give an answer until we bring them all down here. If there is a winner, that is. It looks like Robbie still hasn't put his vote in. He's really analyzing. He's written some notes. He's reading them over, making sure that he's making the right call. And right now, it looks like MINOWA's got 3rd place automatically, so we're fighting for 1st and 2nd here to see who's going to fill out the first 2 positions on the podium.
Well, if you are a fan of Formula Drift, you certainly will know that if that score comes up, that means it's a one more time. We're not trying to trick you. That's just the nature of how this works. But if we do not see that come up, that means we will have a winner.
And we do have a winner, Ryan.
We do have a winner.
We
okay.
do have a winner, and it's unanimous.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're going to bring them down here and announce who the winner is.
All right, we are back for the final announcement. All 3 vehicles out in front of the judges' stand. You can see the beautiful surroundings here at the Ebisu West Circuit. Obviously, we know the 3rd place winner, Shinji Minowa. He had a great event and really captured some much-needed championship points against the other 3 that came in to this event with the lead, that being Masuyama, Yamashita, and Katsuhiro Ueo, all knocked out early, and giving these 3 drivers here, well, actually 2 of these 3, because they are doing the whole championship, Andrew Gray and Shinji Minowa, a good opportunity to chase those gentlemen down and give us a tight race going into next round at Fuji. So I'm going to be kind of quiet here and follow the lead of the Japanese announcers and let them go nuts and crazy and announce our winner. So there it is. Andrew Gray is your winner here. Unanimous victory. Now, Ryan, it seemed as if it was going that direction. And before we congratulate Kumukubo in 2nd place, talk us through. It seemed as if you guys were going in that direction. You were unanimous. What was the aspect that took
There's Kazama.
that took it over the edge for Andrew Gray?
Well, it came down for me to what Kumukubo did on outside zone 1 when he was leading. He did go 2 tires off, cleaned out both of those outside zone markers, made a bit of a mess with that one. Andrew Gray was able to stay close with him through the majority of the track and super close with him for the last, let's say, maybe 2/3 of the track. And when Andrew Gray was leading, he went maybe 1 tire off, but definitely kept his composure a little bit better in the lead position. And Kumukubo was able to stay close only for maybe about 1/3 of the track, the beginning of the track, but through the latter part of the track, he did fall off a little bit, and he wasn't quite as close to Andrew in his chase position. So that's why.
すごい難しいね。みんなすごいうまい。ドリフトゴッドでしょ。すごいプレッシャー。でもホームコースでしょ。俺のチームもすごい車作ったさ。俺のチーム本当ありがとうございます。俺のスポンサーもありがとう。
Wow, listen to Andrew Gray with his Japanese.
Yeah.
He doesn't bring that out very often, so good for him. He said something about beating the drift god, Kumukubo. I was expecting to see Kubo in his little tie suit, but he doesn't have it on today. So we're going to get Robbie over here to do a little translation for us.
Okay, he was talking about it was a great battle, and he's the drift god, and being here battling him everything is just great. This is his home course. His team had built him a crazy car.
もうアラフィフの自分でも
There you go, from
現
the mouth
役
of
しんど
Andrew
い
Gray,
て
or Andrew Gray and Robbie
2
Nishida.
年前に岡山だけ1回だけ出させていただいて、そこからこういう競技車両にも乗ったこともなくてですね、で風間社長にカップ取りたいから出てって言われて、そんなにこのフォーミュラ D 甘くないですよって言ったんですけど、まさか出て取れるとは思わなかった。まあとにかくこんな楽しい場所を用意してくれた本当風間社長にも感謝しかないです。本当に車もタイヤも本当に何のトラブルもなく、もうこんな時代遅れの走りしかできない俺を支えてくれたのはもう風間社長が作ってくれたこの車だと思ってるんで、でまあ今年から使うこのリンロンタイヤが本当に安心して走らせてくれました。雨でもドライでも。今日もなんかしないけどワンモータイムだらけで、
comfortable driving in the rain and it was dry. And man, there was a lot of one more time. So if you rethink it, you're gonna make mistakes.
いけるんですけど。ほとんどがワンモータイムで、
And most of them were all one more times.
もう絶対これ負けんじゃないかな。
And when I went against Shinji, I thought I was gonna lose, and I just just went for it.
最後は、
But at the end,
思い切って勝負かけたら、
I just went for it.
戻っちゃって。
Going against Andy too, but then I think I shallowed up a little bit as well too. So I mean,
本当楽しんでいただけだと思うんですよ。
I just hope that everybody enjoyed it, and I think I enjoyed it the most. So thank you very much.
So some nice words there from Andrew Gray and from Nobushige Kumakubo. A nice overall event, and let's hear now from Shinji Minowa.
はい、ファンの皆様、応援に来てくれた皆様ありがとうございます。
Thank you to all the fans for being here.
自分からしたら試合に行って試合を見て育ったみたいなところがあるんで、
I grew up watching Kumakubo and being able to do it one more time against him, and I was really happy and proud to be able to drive like that I was able to get right into it one more time. I'm going to get my car ready more and go practice more so I could outbeat these guys in the next round too. So thank you for coming, everybody.
All right, Ryan, well, as we wrap things up, any final words from you as what you've witnessed here today and as we push forward and move into Fuji?
I think the greatest takeaway from today, Ryan, is that it didn't rain. That was the biggest win of all for everybody. We had a great dry event. These drivers were pushing 100%. You could hear the words from Kubo. He hasn't driven a car of this level, as he said, in a long time. And to be trusted with a car like this again was pretty big for him. And he got Kazama a carbon fiber trophy. So Kazama's really happy about that, I'm sure. And we've got, some guys that are a little bit newer maybe to the scene. Not that Shinji's a young man, but like he said, I have been watching Kubo drive since I was a kid, and it's pretty great to drive against your heroes, right? So good for him. Managed to get it one more time with him, and he is on the podium with him now, along with Andrew Gray.
Well, it's always a pleasure and an honor to be out here at Ebisu and be with all of the great drivers, and can't tell you guys how much I appreciate doing this. And Ryan, thank you so much. It's always an honor and a pleasure to do this with you as well.
Always.
I learned so much from you, and you give us some great insight. For everybody here at Formula Drift, as well as Robbie Nishida, Andy Yen, Ryan Lantane, and myself, the round number 2 of the G-Shock Presents Formula Drift Japan Championship has now come to a conclusion. We will now head to Fuji Speedway in just a month to start round 3. We'll see you next time.